And picks and bans for game number 1 is ready and underway. So we'll see what these teams opt to jump into for our first time through. And you can already see down at the bottom, the first 2,000 has already been raised. And we haven't even started the night yet. We're in picks and bans game 1. And we're already a fifth of the way to our goal. Keep those donations coming in. Help these guys out as we jump into picks and bans here. Cthulhu, Set, and Ra take it off the table. First off, not really much of a surprise on any of those 3 gods, Fuzzy. They're 3 of the top gods in the game right now.
Yeah, no one's going to be surprised by those 3. Set can run games in the solo lane or the jungle, just like Nemesis can run through jungles as well. All of these characters are really great in the Season 7 map. Sometimes some of them are even good in the Season 8 map, but Season 7 is definitely what we're playing right now, and these are all great characters that play, and I wouldn't be surprised if you see something like an Aphrodite or a Persephone ban as that comes out as well.
Yeah, I'll say probably of these ones going into Season 8, Cthulhu might be the least fun of them because of the trees and all the foliage in the map. Kind of a nightmare to play him, honestly. But other than that, I mean, we're still here on the Season 7 map because Season 8's just still a few days away till Season 8 drops. But for our first lock-in of the night, it's going to be Xingqian going over to Team 7. Now, Team 7's roster, this is Eccentrix, Mr. Porden, Tej, Major, and Synoptics, who, as mentioned, is Wraithyn's brother. And then going against Obliterate's team, which is obviously Obliterate, Elion's Aranic, Obliterate himself onto there, Big Kush guy, and Chaos the Penguin going to be matching up and squaring off here. Yamoja Guan Yu, the first 2 on the opposite side. That's a little bit more what I expected.
Yeah. That's just, that's Obliterate calling the drafts and picks and bans. You absolutely know it's coming.
Oh, yeah.
But now the Chang'e, though, can be a little bit effective as well as I love Xingqian. Xingqian is a man after my own heart, especially if you play him in the solo lane, give him that kind of bruiser feel. And the fact that he can get that HP 5 throughout with his 1 ability, he can be almost an unkillable monster. So now, on top of the fact that they have so much healing, why not just turn into the healer? Morrigan is going to be locked in for that side, and that's just Team 8's draft is already looking a little terrifying.
I mean, just with the 5 other gods locked in, so many options available for this Morrigan. Straight damage with the On Her if you want to get some more of those spears, a giant AoE CC that you can throw out with Chang'e with that ultimate, not to mention getting your own Xingqian ultimate, or just double up on your Yamoja if you want to. And there's still 4 more gods that have to be locked in going into the bans for the second phase. Tsukuyomi, no surprise seeing him banned away. Robin as well. On the flip side, a couple of hunters, Apollo and Robin taken off the board. Or Rama taken off the board.
Yeah, Apollo, Rama, no surprise there. Hachiman, though, being locked in. Cupid is still available, and it would have been interesting to see Cupid into this comp, but Hachiman's a good pickup. Very safe. Make sure that you can stay in the lane. And just try to make sure that you can just passively farm up to that level 20, and hopefully you get to level 20 at the 19, 21 minute mark. And if Hachiman can get there, Hachiman can run games. And two horses, now 3 horses running at you with the Guan Yu and the Morgan turning into one of them, and then the Hachiman. That could spell disaster. And this is a Wheelix pick. I'm kind of digging this Team 8 comp right now.
Yeah, I'm really liking the Awilish into this Kukulin and Xingqian pickup. Xingqian, you can grab him out of the double leap. Kukulin, you can get him out of his salmon leap as well. And overall, I think it just kind of rounds this draft out. You have the Yamoja who can get some of those Riptide knockbacks, which are going to be really powerful for them. Really, that's kind of like their only secondary setup outside of just Awilish, is they're just going to have those Yamoja Riptides. But even those are going to be enough to get plenty of setup for this Awilish. Remember, I've been preaching it ever since I've seen Yamoja at the competitive scene, and the best Yamojas, the ones that separate themselves from the greats, are the ones who can hit those Riptides consistently, have great, beautiful setup with those ones. And I'm curious to see how Team 8 here is going to be able to handle that Yamoja.
Also tempted to see what Team 7's going to be able to do, because awareness around good Yamoja players, because those Riptides they could put behind you and throw you into the enemy team, that could spell disaster for them. So hopefully Team 7's going to be aware of all those Riptides behind them.
Well, we're getting ready to go into game number 1 of the evening. Team 7 and Team 8 going at it. But before we even jump off here, we've already got 3 big donations right off the rip. Ajax with a $50 donation, Hunter Teal with a $100 dono, and Malcaster coming in with a $300 dono. Thank you guys so much for the big donations right off the rip for it. I know that iRAFFER and Tiggy are really going to appreciate these guys. Keep them coming in for the night, because we still got 4 games of gameplay to go through, and I'm sure that donation link is going to continue to stay open even beyond there. But game number 1, starting right off the bat here, it's going to be On her mid?
On her mid. I saw this and I was a little bit tempted. What's interesting though is the fact that the on her went with the gauntlet rather than the actual transcendence start. So a little bit of a mana problem, but not going to be too much of a problem. I think the on her is going to definitely be able to help with that Morrigan, and it's going to help with that early boxing potential. I think that's what they're trying to do, is try to win the game in the mid lane.
Keep going on to it there. Synoptics. Wraithyn's brother going to be piloting the Xing Shen, mentioned on earlier, but the Chang'e ADC, the on her mid's not really the thing that kind of sticks out here. Like, we've seen on her mid. It's the Chang'e ADC that's going to be going, because Chang'e Xing Chen doesn't really have the best lane clear early on, and they're going up against Hachiman Yamoja, who has arguably much better lane clear. I'm not even going to say arguably. They do have much better lane clear than that. So it's going to be curious to see how they transition themselves through this early game.
Yeah, I was wondering because already Beat's going to be popped up. First blood will go over on the right-hand side, but a great gank in the mid lane is, you know, Kakolin over there is able to go ahead and get that solo kill.
Yeah, and a solo onto a Guan Yu, not the easiest target to kill right off the rib, but Mr. Porton going to come in and strike first blood for Team 7. I thought we were maybe going to see it in that mid lane onto Marjorie here, but no, it's going to go to the solo lane slap box first off.
Yeah, and it's really good to see that the solo lanes are going to be fighting like this, but look at this, Awilix already going to use that Feather Step to try to get Teach out of the way, and she had to turtle away just to get that shield, just to stay alive for a little bit longer. This is aggressive, and I'm really enjoying both these teams going at it.
Look, you're out here having a fun tournament, being silly, doing crazy stuff. Just go at it. Just beat the hell out of each other the entire time. Just non-stop W key at the enemy team if you really want to call for it. I mean, yeah, the GM prize is nice, but we're at the end of the day, we all are out here having fun onto it. So I love seeing the early aggression, even in game number 1 here.
Early aggression is fantastic. It just shows that everybody's here to have fun and support a good cause, because that's all what we're here to do tonight, is just be able to support these people that are really just big impacts in the SMITE community. I know we talked about you watching iRAFFER for a while. I watched iRAFFER. It's been great to watch him and grow as a career as well, and I really enjoy watching them, and it's really unfortunate to see this happen, but I'm glad that we're all stepping up together.
Ooh, just barely juking out the Moonblast there as a Centrix, able to get away from that stun. Wouldn't have been enough to kill, but definitely would have been enough to set up for a potential kill. Chaos, the Penguin on that Hachiman. Big Kush guy piloting Yamoja onto team number 8. And Arcanic not going to be able to, oh, actually they will be able to save that. Blue bubble blinking from Tejan right onto Elianod's. Not going to have his escape to get out of there because he used it to fight Mr. Porton. That's going to be another kill on the board for Team 7, this time onto the jungler.
Great rotation from the jungler, recognizing that he got the speed buff. The blue buff timers are going to be almost identical, so Mr. Putin being able to, you know, just casually invade that blue buff, and then wasn't able to secure it, but was able to be there long enough to where the Guan Yu wanted to come in and fight. So that was the bait, and they took it.
Another big donation coming through. Hi-rez Bart coming in with the $150 donation towards iRAFFER and Tiggy. Thank you so much, Bart, for the donation. Everyone else out there as well. 2 kills on the board for team number 7 to start this game out. And having it on the jungler, an Erlang Shen who wants those early kills, and on a Kakolin, it's not looking so hot for the solo lane here so far for team 8. Already off to a rough start.
Rough, but it's manageable. Guan Yu is one of those characters that can start, you know, kind of carrying the weight around when they hit that level 10, level 11 mark. Once they start rotating to this Gold Fury side, because Gold Fury spawns in a minute, but they're not going to go for it right away. They'll probably go for it around the 11 or 12 minute mark. So if Guan Yu is able to just stay around, stay alive, and stay focused, I think he'll be able to easily go over to this Gold Fury and just set up great team fights for Team 8.
Mr. Porton has complete control of this Totem of Coup. Each one so far has gone his way. Only 2 of them at the moment, but keeping control of that totem is so important, Fuzzy. I mean, it gives your team that extra little bit of gold, but it gives you that MP5 you need to sustain yourself in that lane. We were talking about kind of the weaker early out of Team 7's dual lane, but they're the ones constantly pushing Team 8 back into tower.
It's interesting because with Chang'e, her 3 ability, that dance that she's got, that actually is anti-heal. So I think that just a little bit of anti-heal that's being applied there is helping them. Beats coming out as well for this on her.
That impale's so good. The taunt gonna be beads away, obliterate, using a Chang'e just to give themselves a little bit of extra. They don't have the ultimate available. They need 1 more basic, but Marjorie and Teach have more than enough damage to keep them alive. Mr. Porton going aggressive again onto Elian's. Elian's gonna get away, but Synoptics is able to get a kill onto Big Kush, taking him down. Fights across the map and 2 more kills on the board for Team 7.
And those are 2 massive kills. Who do you want to kill and get behind? You want a Morgan to die a lot. You want an On Her to be able to stay alive. And with 20 HP, not even close. This is going to easily set up Team 7 for some great plays going around the Gold Fury. They're 2k up right now at 5 minutes in this game. They could easily snowball this, make it 15, like 15,000 or 1,500 more gold on top of that, making this almost a 4,000 gold difference at 8-9 minutes in the game. And that could spell disaster for Team 8, but that helps a little bit.
Yeah, that's a big one that they need is Marjorie sticking around a little too long in the lane after just narrowly avoiding death previously. Not going to escape it this time, so Siege isn't going to be enough to save his ally there. First kill for Team 8 finally on the board.
It was a good kill to get. You know, you definitely want to make sure that the mid lane isn't controllable. And this gank right here from this Awilix is going to be able to help.
This is the kind of aggression that you need, but he feather steps on the wrong target. Luckily for him, Obliterate is right around the corner waiting for their next one. The Dark Omen has already been expended onto it. Arachnic able to get that last feather step, just waiting for that cooldown. It'll be enough to take him down. This is the assistance that you need. That rotation from mid and jungler, perfect.
This is SMITE. This is SMITE Season 7, hands down, J-Mac. This is one of those ones where you want that perfect rotation, you want the great rotation from the mid lane, and then you want everybody to show up. Fantastic play from Team 8, and who we thought, hey, they need to step up a little bit, they need to do something. Well, clearly, they're starting to do something now.
Arachnic coming up big with that rotation alongside Obliterate. Didn't even need to use the ultimate. Didn't have the ultimate available, at least for Obliterate and Arachnic, because they used it earlier on. So able just to get those raw damage kills. And that feather step, people forget. Because Awilix isn't played as much anymore, Fuzzy, people forget how much feather step does.
Oh, Feather Step does insane amounts of damage, and the range on it, too, is definitely something to talk about as well. A little bit of a solo fight happened. Chang'e's going to have to be able to use that ultimate just to make sure that Hachiman doesn't just go in on her, and so that was a good trade for that Hachiman, making sure that they still have their ultimate available. But going back to that Feather Step, it does insane amount of damage in the early game. Awilix is known as one of the better early game junglers, kind of along with that Erlong Shin, so getting that Feather Step damage is going to be great for this.
Just using that ultimate to get a little bit of damage into the mid lane, taking down Big Kush. Ultimate out of support. Gonna throw one back, but Obliterate had to use that ultimate to transform into the Chang'e just to sustain a little bit longer through. Unfortunately, not able to save the support in this case. Well, we got a little bit of a downtime, though. 2 more donations come through. William Shepard with a $25 dono, and Dominic Graham with a $20 on the board for it. Thank you guys so much for the donations, but Eccentrix might not be in the best situation. Gonna get pulled back in with that ultimate, but use the immunity to get over the feather set. That would have been the killing blow. Now Eccentrix is staying up and maybe even get a kill of their own, turning it around in the 2v1. Picks up Chaos. The Penguin might be looking for another, but that Moonlit Jaguar is gonna be enough damage to take him down. Arachnic with the kill.
2v1 Chang'e. Who would have thought that healers were really good in Season 7? Not me, J-Mac, not at all. But that Chang'e being able to use that dance at a perfect time to make sure that she doesn't die right there, and then just using the one ability just to make sure that she stays alive. Now the Morgan is going to be the next target.
He is stun onto Teague, but he's not too worried about it. Diving under the tower and jumping over the second stun as Synoptic's able to get out of danger. The Obliterate doesn't have those beats, and they're trying to force that and maybe get a kill on the Marjorie here. He has the purification beats, jump away, a leap in by Arachnic. Needs 2 more basics, and the ultimate out of Big Kush is just going to zone it out. Barely squeak by. I didn't think there was enough room for Teej to get out of those tidal waves. He's able to make it through and only end up losing 1 for the fight.
And this is still good for Team 8. They're now pushing the pedal onto the metal. They're trying to get this gold lead into their favor. It's still around 2,000 gold, and that kill right there will definitely help. But it's just a support team, so they're really trying to make sure they can get effective kills, try to see what they can do, and just get people behind so that they can catch up. The experience, though, is starting to even out just a little bit, but with this tower down, it's starting to spell really good for Team 7.
Team 7 is starting to get a nice little lead there, but Arachnic and Obliterate are there to make sure that this lead doesn't snowball too far out of control. It was 2,000 at 5 minutes. It's still going in favor of Team 7, but it's only gone to the tune of 1,000 in their favor in these last 4 or 5 minutes, as opposed to what could have been 2,000 or 3,000 more gold.
It's just maintain. All they're trying to do right now is just stop the bleeding or just maintain the bleeding, just like you would do in a normal surgery, for instance. Just making sure that you can control what's happening and you keep fighting what's going to happen. And this is where you want to fight. This level difference between Tej and this Awilix is really big, but Tej is not going to be hot out of position and just get obliterated by Obliterate.
Yeah, no chance for Teach getting out of there. Ultimate out of Synoptic's not going to really get any benefit from that. He's in the middle of 3 other players. But the mid and ADC have shown up. Desert Fury not going to be enough to obliterate. Turns around and gets a second kill for himself into the stealth. And for the stun onto Marjorie, gonna miss just off the mark. Throws the Dark Omen instead and has to walk away. Well, unfortunately for Big Kush Guy, he's left out to dry. Mr. Porton able to make a beautiful rotation over and get a return kill for it. 2 for 1 in favor of Team 8. But the pressure after looks like it could be swinging in favor of Team 7 as they're going to take down this Tier 1.
It seems like Team 7's game is we can win in these team fights as long as people get separated. They're just doing a pick cop. Team 8, they're team fighting more efficiently, which is why the kill score shows 8-7, but that goal difference shows 2 different ways. And a solo kill over by Eccentrics, just this Chang'e carry is absolutely just obliterating everything.
Yeah, see, I wasn't really, thinking this Chang'e ADC is going to be all that, but right now he's 3 levels up against his enemy. I'm not going to say hater, I'm going to say a little skeptical more than anything, just because of what they were going up against in this dual lane, but Eccentrics is popping off this game. 2 kills on the board, 2 deaths, but that's from a 4-man rotation earlier and another 2-man previously onto that one. So, I mean, he's had a lot coming for him for those 2 deaths, but he's really been holding his weight onto that one. Is tied for the most farm on his team with Mr. Porton.
Really surprising me right now is the jungle level difference. Both junglers, they're in the double digits now, but this Awilix being level 12 and Erlang Shen being level 10, that could really lead to a snowball if this Awilix can keep this lead going. She's now at the point where her physical power is going to be almost unstoppable if she gets to a 1v1. I don't think anybody could really stop that. So if Awilix can start making these rotations here pretty soon, just soloing trying to get these picks, Team 8 could really look to spell a good win for them.
Pyromancer started up, and it looks like there's no answer from Team 8 on this. It's going to be a free objective for Team 7 as they're able to grab that one with no problem whatsoever. But that notification is going to let everybody know that there's people on that right side, maybe looking for another kill onto Eccentrics, as we see Arachnic make that rotation left. Not going to get anything off it. Now looking, where's those Gold Fury? There's all 5 players from Team 7 here. Meanwhile, everyone on Team 8 is so spread out.
Yeah, Team 8, I don't think they can really fight this, as Arachnic's going to be the target for the Xingtian, but the Xingtian not going to be able to get that stun, but now they can set their eyes to this Gold Fury.
Looking for it, but not going to make any commitments onto it just yet. Still warding up the area, making sure that they can keep vision on anybody around. You saw the one ward get tossed over the mid-camp wall. Finally going to start on that Gold Fury. They don't have the best secure in the world for it. They got Chang'e ult. They've also got the Desert Fury out of this on her for some extra damage. But the River's Rebuke has been thrown out. The Gold Fury is still being leased. Obliterate's going to get the first blood of the fight. And the Fury will go over to Team 7, but they're going to lose everybody on the back end of it. 3 players down. Mr. Porton, the only one lively and healthy in the middle of the fray. Obliterate going to stealth out and look for their target. Pull in, but it's going to be a beads out of Mr. Porton to get away from the ultimate stun. Out of the mid lane of the Dark Omen to follow. Mr. Porton is so tanky. He doesn't care about any of this damage. But now Marjorie is on a little bit of danger. He'll have to jump over the wall. The Moonlit Jaguar is not going to be enough, though, out of Arachnic to catch him. Because Gold Fury goes to Team 7, but 3 kills on the board for Team 8 from that one.
And that's massive for Team 8. You would think that, a Gold Fury for 2, with how big the gold lead is, isn't really quite substantial, but with 3 kills, that gets it to a little bit better, and it starts to slow down this bleeding that's happening. They are trying to make sure they get this tier 1 tower on the left-hand side, but Mr. Porton had made that rotation over from that right-hand side of the map, and that just stops everything altogether. It was really close. If Team 7 was able just to get that Gold Fury and back away, I think that would have been a massive victory. But because Team 8 kept the pressure, kept their foot on the gas, they're able to win these team fights. I think this game goes to a team fight, and Team 8 has been showing time and time again that their team fighting is way better.
Yeah, they're just playing smarter, grouping up a lot more efficiently in Team 7, which is hilarious to me because Team 7 was the one who was already at the Gold Fury. They were already ready to take that one down, and Team 8 trickles themselves in and is able to, with 1 River's Rebuke, turn the fight around instantly. That's the power that this Umoja has that they're just not paying enough attention to. If they allow another fight to just separate their team so heavily like that last one did, Team 8 could potentially just walk away with this.
They really could, and that's just going to spell disaster because every team fight that we've watched so far, J-Mac, it has been either in the jungle or like I would say it would be either in the lane, but most of the time the big fights are in the jungle, and that's where teammates comp is actually thriving. You saw that Elian's from the solo lane tried to make that rotation, but On Her was able to jump away. That's what you have to be worried about. Everything coming from the jungle and these walls that are around for season 7, they can hide so much that teams 8 have. And look at this, the rotation to the left hand side just to try to get this Eccentrics out, and still was able to spot it out on a ward. So it's just the Team 7 are trying to ward up the jungle, trying to beat these aggressive wards, but if they don't figure out their synergy for these team fights, it could really be bad for Team 7 no matter the gold lead.
I think the big thing is they got beads out of Mr. Porton earlier on, which means for this next little portion, if they choose to fight, he won't have it. It looks like a potential solo kill out of Eccentrics, but luckily for Chaos the Penguin, he'll be able to get up and onto the horse and out of there. For now, Marjorie might be looking to play aggressive. Desert's Fury way out of range for that one. All he'll do is throw some damage to the wind and get a couple of minions with it.
I did like the attempts, though. You know, you had to make sure that you get something, but they do get the tier 1 tower in return. Arachnic's starting to, you know, be the next target, it seems, but now their spies are on this Emoja.
Big Riptide into the back line, but TJ's gonna get blown up before the Whirlwind can even go through. Riptide's gonna throw the rest of the team back into safety yet again. They get another pick, but they might be losing tier 2 tower. Now here are the Centrics, and Marjorie gonna get the ultimate onto just Marjorie. Beads are gonna be a little bit too late there. He's got the leap, but Arachnic just needs one hit if they can get it. Shell out of the support is gonna make sure that he stays alive. Marjorie gonna get taken down by Chaos the Penguin, and looping around the back is Obliterate right onto Eccentric. Stun's not gonna be enough to save him as they can take down one. Obliterate able to take down Eccentrics. Now Mr. Porton in the middle with the other support. It's the tanks versus the world against Team 8 here. Obliterate gonna need to turn around and get a big stun. Otherwise, Mr. Porton's just gonna be able to walk it down.
Well, Mr. Porter wants to walk at them, and now they have to disengage. Big win, I would say, for Team 7. Even though Team 8 might have gotten the 2 kills, or the 3 kills onto them, onto Team 7, Team 7 was able to get a tier 2 tower, make sure that they get Arachnic, who has been one of the biggest problems for them out of this fight, and they can just continue that win. So now that left-hand side of the map is almost just wide open for them. They could easily take a Fire Giant at this point. An Oni Fury is the next spawn that's going to happen, so that would be my focus if I was Team 7. Get the Oni Fury, keep the pressure going so that that Fire Giant even becomes more free.
I think the biggest problem the Team 8 has to deal with right now is just this Colin. Mr. Porton is 3 levels up and over a full item ahead of Elian's right now. This is one of the tankiest gods to deal with on this map, and I really don't think that they have a true answer for it just yet. If Mr. Porton can stay grouped up with Team 7, I think team fights might swing their way a little bit more just because they haven't dealt more than half this guy's health to him yet.
Just with how massive he has been just solo farming. He's level 17. He's 3 levels ahead of his counterpart. He is the highest level, tied with Obliterate, who has also been farming his brains out in the mid lane with just kills alone. 8, 1, and 4. Have to talk about that too. But he's just been over there making sure that everything's going his way, and everything has been going his way. He has full control on that right-hand side of the map. Now he just has to make sure that he gets full control over the entire side of the map as Arachnic's looking for a kill in the mid lane.
Oh, yeah, you don't want to get picture Arachnic. You got to get out, but he's not able to get out. Doesn't have beads available to get away from the taunt. Into the ultimate goes Obliterate, looking for something, but the ultimate out of the support is going to throw Obliterate right into the mix of it, and a double kill for Marjorie. And now Big Kush is the one who stuck the Riptide into the pillar. Triple kill for Marjorie to take down the support. Only Elian's and Chaos left alive, and they're not anywhere near this fight. Tier 2 tower going down, and Team 7 continuing the push.
Oh, and they can easily get this Phoenix. Only 2 left. The Hachiman that's level 15. You just have to turn your tail and run. This is an easy mid Phoenix. A fantastic team fight from Team 7. The gold lead was going to catch up at some point, J-Mac. We did mention that, but they finally got the cohesive team fight they have been looking for. That 7,000 gold lead is almost unstoppable if they look for this Fire Giant, but it does look like they might try to split a Oni Fury and a Pyromancer, which is a fantastic call from the team.
Yeah, they stopped bleeding on the gold for a moment, but now we're looking at over 8,000 gold in favor of Team 7. They're going to make it another 750 here with this Pyromancer. I mean, Team 7, that's all it takes. One rotation in for a team fight to start with Mr. Porton, and they blow the doors wide open. Another Gold Fury to boot on top of that. Over 9,000 gold now in their favor. Team 7 with a very impressive fight in that mid lane.
And a great fight to make sure that the kills specifically went to the mid laner. Marjorie has been absolutely just kind of playing in the back, 1 and 3, kind of hanging out. And with that triple kill, he is able to get from level 15 where he was 2 levels just solely off of that triple kill. Now he's tied completely with Obliterate, and that's where you want to be if you're this on here. Just make sure you can maintain the damage that comes out of it. Now Fire Giant's the one that's being pinged, and I think they could easily do this because their wards placed around. They're seeing everybody back.
Big push gonna get stopped from his back. Teej is going right in the Riptide, puts him on the wrong end of it. He's just chasing him down. A second Riptide taunts him right back in. Teej is chasing down this Yamojin. He's not letting these Riptides stop him. Gets the River's Rebuke out as well. Big ultimate burned away. Teej just on a tear, loses his zone, but trading Euro for Yamojo is the best thing you could ask for when the rest of your team is going for a Fire Giant.
Yeah, Fire Giant is definitely the call. Now Obliterate's stuck. Teej is trying to go on to him, and the ultimate from Kikolan, it's gone. He's just gone. Teej making sure he gets the kill, and then on top of that, his team picks up that Fire Giant.
Man, all I gotta say is the only thing hotter than that triple kill that we saw earlier, the only thing hotter than this 10,000 gold lead are the donations that have been pouring in on here. $50 out of Charming Black and $250 out of Smite Game's own Loki Dad as well. Came through earlier, but thank you so much for the support and the donations, you guys. Keep those coming through as the team fight is just burning in favor of Team 7. Eliance can't even get back to his fountain in time. Gonna get slowed and stopped down, barely through. Beads out of Teej, gonna make sure he doesn't get yanked back into fountain. But Eccentrics will take down the support. Right side, Phoenix is still alive, but they don't care. They have the mid one down. They've got Eliance down, and they're gonna have the Titan down right after they take down Arachnic. All 5 players gone, and the Titan Team 7 take game 1.